gonna go on a bike ride today. So I was just checking out the bike to make sure it is safe for me to ride. When you go on a bike ride, you always wanna make sure that the bike you're riding is safe. Obviously, this bicycle is too small for me, but this is probably the size you're riding at home. First thing you wanna do is make sure you put your kickstand up. You wanna check your brakes. You wanna make sure the seat is at the right height. And you wanna make sure there is air in your tires. So those are things that you want to make sure your bike is ready before we go outside. All right, so let's just talk about what we're doing today. We're talking about riding a bike safely, all right? So in a minute, we're gonna go out onto the playground and I'm gonna show you what that looks like. But before we go, our fitness focus this week is push-ups. We've been working on jumping jacks and we're moving on to push-ups now. So boys and girls, a push-up is when you get down on the floor. You put your hands right underneath your shoulders. My hands are underneath my shoulders. I go up on my feet. I'm looking at the floor. I go down and I come back up. I go down and I come back up. You don't want to be like this. You don't want to be like this. You don't want to land on the floor. All right? You're going down and coming back up. All right. So that's our fitness focus this week is push-ups. They're hard, so you're going to probably only do a couple of them until you build up and get stronger. Our health focus this week is eating a balanced meal. So I'm going to go over to my portion plate over here. What does a balanced meal look like? A balanced meal has protein, starch, fruit, and vegetables. And like I talked about before, most of your plate is vegetables and fruit. Only a little bit of it is starch. What is starch? Starch is bread or pasta or cereal, tortillas. Okay, that's what starch is. You want to have a small amount of that on your plate. What is protein? Protein is eggs, breakfast time or lunch or dinner, chicken, cheese, meat, all right, hamburgers. Protein is something that helps our cells inside our body, our brain and the rest of our body function. It also helps us grow, all right? Starches usually turn into sugar when they get into our body. And that's why we want to have a little bit of starch in our body. If most of our plate is covered with starches, then we're eating too much sugar. It may not taste sweet when we put it in our body, but our body converts or changes those starches into sugars. So boys and girls, eat a balanced meal, heavy on the fruits and the vegetables, heavy on the protein, just a little bit of those starches. Starch. So we're gonna go outside and I'm gonna put on a helmet and we're gonna get on a bike. So let's go do that. All right, so boys and girls, in order to be safe, the first thing you always want to do is make sure you have your helmet on to protect your brain. You can see that I'm wearing bright clothes. I have on a bright pink shirt today. That way, if I'm out in my neighborhood, cars that are driving can see me. You want them to see you, all right? I've got shoes on that are tied. They're safe. My body is safe right now. So let's talk about what we do when we get on our bike. First thing we're going to do, if we have a kickstand, is we're going to push that bicycle away from us and kick up that kickstand. It's called a kickstand because you're using your foot and you're kicking it, all right? Next thing you do is you're going to get on that bicycle. So you want to get on the bicycle and look at my legs. My legs are pretty straight once I'm sitting on my bike, all right? My knees aren't bent. I'm touching the ground with my feet, but my legs are straight. When you start riding a bicycle, you want to do what's called a power pedal. So you put one foot up on the pedal that's higher, okay? We have two pedals on the bicycle. That's where your feet go. You put your foot on the higher pedal. And then when you push, you're going to push really hard or strong with that leg, power it through, and you're going to start. All right? So push and then start pedaling. All right, I'm going to come back around. And when you stop a bicycle, you want to stop completely, put your feet down and get off. All right, so let's talk about riding safely in your neighborhood, boys and girls. You want to make sure you're visible. You want to look for cars. You want to listen for cars. You also want to look for any people that are on your sidewalk. Are there other kids playing? Are there ladies walking their dogs or dads pushing strollers? Make sure that you are aware of what's going on around you. So boys and girls, get on those bikes, have fun, be safe, and ride.